Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. Today on the show, we're playing Judge Dredd and the Worlds of 2000 AD, the RPG that's currently on Kickstarter right now from N Publishing. I want to thank Russ Morrissey for letting us play this and showcase his game. This is not going to be the full rule set of the game. It should give you a good idea of what the game is going to be like. And you can the one really great thing about the system is that you can kind of make it as light and as crunchy as you'd like. So we're not going to dive hugely into the really heavy part of the rules. We're going to just kind of go over the basic mechanics, and yeah, we're going to have a good time. I want to thank everybody that's watching us live. Before we start, there are two things that I would like you to do, if you can. One is if you would hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, we do all sorts of RPGs content on this channel. We do actual plays and reviews and interviews. So if you haven't watched the interview that we had with Rush, I think about a week ago, please check that out. And I'll put a little notation here on the playback to check that out. So that's the first thing I wanted you to do. The second thing I want you to do is to check out the Judge Dredd and the Worlds of 2000 AD RPG Kickstarter. The link to the Kickstarter is in the description of this video. So please check that out. But hopefully after you watch our actual play. All right, now it is time to introduce everyone. I want to thank Tim Devine from Dice Up Games for coming on and being our chief judge and GM. Tim, thanks for coming on and kind of spearheading this actual play.
Oh, my pleasure. This is very exciting to be able to play this game. I've been looking forward to it.
Nice. And our players, let me just go down the line. I'll introduce our players. We have Alan Barr from Gallant Knight Games. Alan, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
Excellent. We have Josh Melville from Halloweenville on YouTube. Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
We have Michael Harrington, chief VCG contributor and lead actual play player extraordinaire. Just don't ask him to do a Swedish impression, otherwise he's not going to. No. He says he's gonna get a lot more hate mail than he did on the last actual play.
Well,
Michael, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so this is me handing the show over to Tim. Tim, this again is your session to lead us through this game.
Well, regardless of the game, I was planning on taking your show into the dystopian future anyway and crash it into something and explode. So why not play a game of Dredd? In the book, or also on their Kickstarter page, they have these pre-generated characters that you could take a look at, and our players all chose their own. Some of them kept the names of the pre-gens, and some of them renamed them. And so I think we could probably do a little introduction of your characters in the opening scene. Maybe do it that way. I'll set the scene, and then we're just going to jump right into play. We're using, like Doug said, we're using a streamlined version of the rules. So, we're not going to be using a gridded battle system. So it's going to be a lot of theater of the mind. And so let's get into this gritty future dystopia that is Mega City 1. So unless anybody has anything before we start.
No, I'm good. I'm good if everybody else is.
Okay, yep. I'm just excited to get going.
I am too.
All right, the camera opens, scene opens on Mega City 1, this skyline of just spires and these giant buildings and these little ramshackled things in between, super packed mega highways, and then above them lanes of hover vehicles flying around. And as the camera's kind of swooping in, we get the opening credits. So we get the players' names in here and what you're about to watch. And the camera kind of swoops in over one of these really crowded highways. And on it are there's several the Lawmaster motorcycles, the famous Judge motorcycles. Two of them in front of this armored transport, and two of them behind. And inside the transport itself is covered up. You don't know what they're hauling, but there's judges at the wheel of this transport. Clearly, it's important, and it's going super fast. There's been the two motorcycles up front, the two lawmasters up front are clearing traffic, sometimes firing some warning shots to get people to move. These are packed future streets and highways. It takes an off ramp. So you all, we've got two judges in front, two judges in back, big armored transport in the middle. It goes down this ramp underneath the big freeway. Now the sun can't hit it. It's a little bit shady. And once you get underneath it, let's take the camera into some of these judges to see, who they are. So the two judges in front, we have a street judge and we have a tech judge driving side by side, very Chip style, but like in the future.
And more dystopian.
And much more dystopian.
Chips without any of the fun parts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's go in on the street judge first. What does the camera pick up on the street judge as you're flying?
Yeah, so I mean, like any good judge, right? You can only see the nose and the bottom of the nose down on the face. And the badge reads Payne, Payne. And it's an athletic human male. No nonsense.
Not an uplifted gorilla.
No. Nobody's got time for that.
We're lucky that wasn't one of the pre-gen options.
That'd have been a thing.
And then the camera kind of wheels around, goes to the judge next to him, which is the tech judge.
And that's me, and I'm driving along, and I'm kind of like halfway looking at the road as I'm looking at the screen that's on my bike, and I'm searching for the latest Kardashian gossip online. I don't know which Kardashians are alive at this point, but it's probably many generations of Kardashians that.
The original ones are probably still alive.
That's probably true. They probably are.
I was gonna say
you can't kill evil like that.
Yeah, I was gonna interrupt you, Doug, and say that I'm sorry, but Alan just signed off. We're down to 3 players.
So
right,
that's what I'm doing, since I'm and one of my things is I love celebrity gossip. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to I'm keeping my eye on the road, yet I'm also diligently trying to read this latest article on the Kardashians. And
camera kind of zooms in real fast, like to the two drivers behind the wheel of this big rig, and we're gonna say that the other two judges in the back on the motorcycle or on the lawmasters are not the other two players. The other two players are actually in the armored vehicle driving this thing. So which one of you two are at the wheel?
Probably not the medic.
Yeah, I'll be driving I'll be driving.
All right. So Judge Devi, is it Devi?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's Devi.
Okay, Judge Devi, why don't you go first?
So we see her. She's gripping the wheel. Her jaws set, very rigid, very focused on what she's doing. There is something odd about her. Her helmet is actually a little bit bigger than some of the other judges, and you can see that the reason is that she has like this enlarged melon because she's a side judge. You can see it on the on her on her badge. So definitely about a size and a half bigger than the nearest male is her paint can. Yeah, it's pretty big.
All right, and our next judge, our final judge.
Yes. So my name's Clayton, and I'm sitting there, not focused on what's going on in front of me, this particular mission, but I'm focused on how can I impress these guys? How can I get ahead, and how can I impress the boss? Man, and I'm just kind of daydreaming off into nowhere.
Well, it's funny you should say that about trying to impress the boss, because what I didn't mention before is that you 4 judges are kind of rookies. You're new on the street. I think maybe the street judge might have had a little bit of experience, in a scrap, but the rest of you are a little bit green. And someone comes on the radio, and it's your boss. It's the senior judge driving one of the lawmasters in the rear comes on and says, Look alive, judges! Look alive! We've got she's got a kind of a gruff voice, and she's look alive. We've got an area up ahead that's hasn't been scouted out. We're going to take this. It's basically, you guys have been jumping around a route, escorting or taking this truck that was predefined. But now you're going to be doing some things just to make sure that no one can really know where you're going. Because what you're hauling, although you're not 100% sure, you haven't been briefed on everything, the details, but what you're hauling is a high priority package inside this vehicle, and you're taking it to the halls of justice. And it has to reach the halls of justice. And you're now going to be starting to take roads that are not pre-planned. Things could go wrong a little bit, and your senior judge is telling you to look alive. And then it's just about that moment when we're going to go into our first real expensive shot here. There's going to be a lot of fireworks and everything, because as you come around the corner, there's an explosion at the end of the street, and there's a huge skyscraper on one side of you, and there's a bunch of buildings on the other. It's kind of like a narrow street. It's a 2-way street, but you're making it a 1-way street. You got 2 judges, wide motorcycle, out in the front, 2 in the back, big vehicle in the middle. The big explosion just erupts at the end of this block, and the 2 judges in front, your visors light up with this flash of the explosion. You could feel the heat, even though it's that far away. And in the camera cuts to the rear view mirror, or the side mirrors of the big armored car, and both of you see an explosion happen behind you. So where you just turned, and now are heading about halfway, there's an explosion on one end and an explosion on the other end, almost sandwiching you in. And then you hear the rat-a-tat of machine gun fire above you. And from almost all sides, there's fire raining down on your caravan. What do you want to do?
Well, that snaps me out of my daydream. What's going on? Woo!
All right. Let's see.
I'm going to kind of like look for cover. I'm gonna look back to the van, see how it's doing, and then is there any opening like along the side that we can kind of divert around this explosion? Or
well, it doesn't look like it. This whole block has like a solid on your left. It's a solid wall of buildings that are maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 stories tall at the highest, but they're all connected. There's no alleyways or anything like that. Okay. And on the other side, you have a giant building, and it's got these stairs that go up to it that are probably like 100 stairs, and it's a very actually, you're a tech judge, right?
Right.
Well, let's just say this. That it's the Mega City 1 museum on your right.
Okay.
So this giant building, one of the tallest in Mega City 1, and it's on the right side of this big street. And the most of the fire is coming from the scattered buildings, like on the left side.
Okay.
And then this big wall of fire and explosions, and you can now see that there were a bunch of vehicles piled up in the front to make the explosions.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Is there a particular, like you said, it's coming from everywhere above us, but is there like a concentrated area? Like I see a perp bleeding out a window, firing a gun or something? Oh yeah. You see one of the first things you see, aside from just the actual tracer or whatever they're called, you see a perp hang out of the window, firing his gun up in the air, and he's yelling, encouraging all the perps on the side to kill these judges, or what are they, Jays? Okay.
So
all
that's
right.
yeah.
So I'm gonna take my lawgiver, and I'm gonna using the vocal commands. I'm gonna have it switch to high explosive, and then I'm gonna put a round in that perp's window.
All right. While you're driving,
I'll do the cool like swing my bike to a stop on the side kind of thing.
Yep.
And then like pull out my lawgiver and high explosive.
Yes.
Is he within 30 feet of me in the vehicle?
30 feet?
Yeah. Are we using these exploits? We're using exploits, right?
Well, I mean, you can use them if it makes sense for it.
All right.
We were going to say no because we're doing kind of we're using a quick start kind of.
Okay. Well, I don't need it. I just saw one I could use right now that I was going to use, but
go ahead and try to use it.
All right.
But we'll go. Alan, you're going to do your first shot. Screech the bike to a halt. Give it the command. Go ahead and let me know the roll.
All right. 19.
Oh yeah.
So,
was that? Yeah. So you could do the damage on that thing.
2d6 plus 1 heat, and it's a burst. It does ×2 damage against robots and objects.
Okay.
So 10 damage plus 2, so 12. Jeez. Yeah. That would have hurt me a lot.
Hold on 1 second. Lost my... Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So there's obviously a huge explosion in that window. You hit dead on. Where we'll say that the damage to the actual structure leaves a big gaping hole and a bunch of people thrown about in there. So there's no fire coming out of that exact area. But what happens to the person who is hanging out?
Oh, I assume I blew them up. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just gonna give them to you as like a prize, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's just Dredd, right? They probably go flying, screaming across the road from the explosion, splattering into somebody else's house. Probably some fatso watching TV or something.
Perfect. And as the person is watching TV, the news on the TV cuts to a chopper above your area, watching what's happening, and then we cut back to the street. And we have a side judge. Are you going to be doing something to that perp who is now?
No, I was actually going to over the radio. I was going to use my inspiring exploit or trait or whatever that is there, and give Judge Payne a little bit of a plus 1 to his die pool, I guess, to his next attribute check. Because I'm able to instill positive emotions, so I'm just encouraging him. I just say something like, "Hit that sucker," or something like that.
Attempted murder of a judge is death.
Perfect. So, you all now there's a small gap in the building where there's no fire raining down on you because of the explosion that Payne just dealt in the building, and then you have your tech judge. Novak, right?
Novak, yep.
Yeah. So Judge Novak, you're the closest to the entrance of the museum down these. It's a large flight of stairs. So if you're all going to try to do anything in this area to defend the area, whatever you're going to do, you have that to one side where no fire is coming at you, and then you have all the fire on the other side coming, raining down on you.
All right, I'm gonna motion to everybody to go over to this where the fire is not happening. So I'm going to try to get everybody over to the museum.
And you hear on your radio as you're going through and saying that, you hear your senior judge, sounds like they've been injured, yell out, "Judges, your first priority is the package that we have to deliver to the halls of justice. You got to deliver the package."
Novak, put a high explosive round in the barricade blocking us so we can get going again.
All right, so I'm going to do that. And so let's see here. Where's my? What do I?
So you look under attacks and you look where it says lawgiver. It's going to have a dice pool.
Yeah.
So you grab that many dice, you just roll them.
Okay.
And then add them all together.
All right. That is a 14.
So you're trying to blow a hole in the giant rubble of cars in the front?
Correct.
Okay. Well, you definitely hit that. It's not a hard target to hit, but you now you got to roll the damage of that thing. So that was high explosive.
Yep.
It's 2d6 plus 1.
2d6 plus 1. That's a 10.
Is that right? I was looking at the right sheet.
I have 2d6 plus 2 on my sheet.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
That might be a stat thing though.
Maybe.
Judge Novak has a 2d6 plus 1 on that one.
Okay. But you
So
times 2 against inanimate objects.
Yep.
Oh, so it's a 20.
Definitely inanimate.
Awesome. So it's a 20.
Yep. So that is an enormous explosion. It rips the center part, big enough for you to be able to go tandem the bikes through and probably squeak the vehicle through. But as the kind of cloud of what you've done to it, it's already an explosion and fire. So now it's just you just added more to it at one point. But when it kind of clears, you see what's on the other side. You see another armored vehicle charging through the hole you just made. It comes through, and on the very front of it, you see this flaming skull, like painted on the front face. Like if it's like a kind of like a VW bus, the flat front of it, that has the big skull on it. And we'll just say that you know. Well, who would any of you know this, or we could do a roll for it. But basically, it's a symbol of a gang, of a well-known gang in this area, and we'll say that you just know the kind of rumors of them. And this gang is no small time thing. You're immediately chills. So giant flaming skull. Doug, what's the gang called?
The Headbangers.
Well, the Headbangers are charging towards you and pull their vehicle to a stop, and out of the back of it, you can see the back doors flap open out the side of, on either side, and you know that more people are coming out and going to be jumping into this fight. And then the next thing that happens, and we'll say the two drivers in the, you're all going to get shot at in a second, by the way. I'm going to have to roll against you, but I'm setting the scene. The vehicle, the big vehicle that you're driving, that the two of you drivers are sitting in, gets hit by something and rocks on its side and just smashes. So the two of you need to figure out what you're going to do. It's going to take a check here for you to get out of that vehicle, and the two of you in the front are getting shot at.
Can I like reflexively duck behind my bike? Like hunker down?
Yeah. That adds you have cover now, and you also said at the very beginning that you did swerve the bike probably.
Right.
Yeah, so that's perfect. And then unfortunately, Judge Novak, because you were sort of like on your bike firing and you're not really taking cover at this moment. So let me just do this real quick. So Judge Payne, your lawmaster is being riddled with shots, but none of them get to you. And then we've got Judge Novak. You feel a huge sensation, but you have armor that you can soak some of this with. But you take 9 points.
Oh.
So your armor soaks 5 of those.
Okay, so I only take 4 damage, but still, I kind of feel it sting and bruise me underneath my armor, and yeah, that's not. I'm not digging that. I'm trying to get cover underneath. I'm gonna try to move my bike around and do the same thing that Payne did.
Got it. And then we have Judge Devi, the side judge, in the car, in the driver's seat, and the med judge in the passenger seat. How are you two going to get out of this situation?
All right, so we're sideways now.
Yeah. Well, we'll say this is whatever your action is. It's while the thing is turning onto its side and crashing. If you kind of just go with it, then we'll do some damage here.
I'm gonna try to blast out. What do we have? Do I know if the windows are bulletproof or anything? I'm assuming they probably
are
aren't.
Bulletproof, yeah.
Crap. I'm gonna just throw the door open and try to roll out of it.
All right. So let's do that'd be like kind of like an agility, and then if you have any skills that are relevant to it.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Can make a case for survival.
Okay.
Or dodging.
Which is the higher? Let's see where is that actually on my thing? Dodge is.
Well, you've got it's agility, so
Agility.
you've got two dice, and then if you want to use one of your skills, you add a die to it for one of those.
And survival is where is that? I can't.
It's in the skills list right below your attributes in that grid.
Like I don't have survival, so you might not have it.
I think. Well, this is Judge Devi, right?
No, I have dodging, so I'm going to use agility. Actually, survival is this one, so I'm going to use agility because it's 2D.
Okay.
So it's pool of 2. So, I'm not so good at that. 5.
All right, here. And shoot. Just give me 1 second here. Well, you take 6 points of damage, and are thrown from the vehicle. So when it goes on its side, we'll say the door like flaps, or maybe like if these doors open upward because future, when it goes on its side and you're trying to open the door, it just throws you.
Okay, does my helmet soak any of that?
Yeah, sure.
So what is that? I take 1 point of damage then. So the soak is 5.
Yep.
Okay.
And you land right next to Judge Novak.
Yeah.
Who is on their bike? Just got shot. Novak, did you fall off your bike?
Yes.
Okay, so you're both laying next to each other, looking at each other. You can see your own reflection in each other's visors.
I'm assuming my big head got caught in the door as I was trying to get out and got banged around a little bit.
Your helmet's still on?
Yeah, my helmet's dented, but it's still on. It's a little uncomfortable now because I've got such a big head.
And inside the armored transport, we have Judge Clayton.
Yes. So as I see Devine
Debbie
get flung out of the car or the vehicle, I kind of panic a little bit, and as it rolls back over so that my door is up, I'm going to make the attempt to jump out and hopefully learn from her mistake.
All right, so go ahead and give us a roll.
All right. So agility. Plus, you said we could add survival to that. So that's 3d6 total. Ooh. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Nice.
That's good.
Yep, that'll do it. So you get out without taking any damage, but you hear something while you're scooting out of there. You hear a muffled voice coming from the back of the armored transport, and it sounds like they're kind of stressed out.
Okay.
To put it lightly.
I will head to the back cautiously.
Okay. So are you opening it?
Yes.
Okay. When you're in the back, you can see that your senior judge her and the other judge back there put their bikes in kind of a triangle position in the back, and we're kind of firing back and all that stuff. And you can see clearly that there's another giant vehicle that kind of battering rammed its way through the debris on your backside, and it's got the headbangers had the giant flaming skull. This one has a big yellow rubber duck. And so we're just going to call them the Quackers. And the Quackers game, as much as you'd laugh at it now, it immediately strikes fear into your heart because they're even worse than the Headbangers. They're also the mortal enemies of the Headbangers. and they're coming from the rear of this giant explosion. One judge, the fourth judge who we never, or sixth judge, I can't do math, that we never really introduced. We didn't need to because they're just going to be accredited as like dead judge one because they're on the ground dead. And the senior judge is yelling at you. She says that she'll provide cover. You need to get that package back to the halls of justice.
Does she hand me a package?
Oh no, she's pointing at the package in the. She's calling them the package. You guys weren't, like I said, you weren't briefed on exactly what it is back there or how important it is. You just know that this was your job to do the escort.
Okay. I assume the package is like something I can carry, right?
You can assume that.
We're gonna have to open the car to find out. So let's get on it. So who's in the back? The judge is providing covering fire. I'll provide covering fire from the front.
Yep.
And then med judge, get the package just in case it's something that's alive.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it.
So as you open it, the package leaps into your arms and gives you a big, big hug.
Aww.
Yeah. It's a kind of a not quite a baby. It's a young gorilla.
Okay. That's quite the package.
Well, in order, I'm always, I do what the boss says because, I want to do right by them and, hopefully get that promotion. So yeah, I take it and I'm gonna bolt up to. We're kind of down at the bottom of the stairs to this museum, right?
That's where, you're at the bottom of those stairs. Yes.
I want to start bolting my way up those as they're providing cover to get to safety with the package.
Okay, and who's immediately following you?
Novak.
Yeah, I'm gonna totally follow him.
Okay.
And provide cover fire in the as well.
Novak, as you see this gorilla, this small gorilla hugging the front, like Judge Clayton, you don't even have to use your arms to hold this thing. It's just it's got you gripped around like a backpack, but from the front. And you could see Judge Novak that the gorilla is pointing with a very worried look on its face at the back of the truck where they just came from. Clayton, you can't see this. You're still running up the stairs. Right. But Novak, you know that there's something that this gorilla wants that's still in the vehicle.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna go back to the vehicle and try to dodge the fire and check out what this package is wanting.
Okay, and oof. Okay, yeah, you're fine. You just like a miracle. Go to this, and all the fire is hitting everything around you. Like right where you just stepped is where every bullet is hitting. And nice. There's a small bag in there. It's like a kind of a satchel, and it has a clasp that you would use to open it. And it's the clasp keeping it closed. It's just like a little small like metal banana.
I love that reaction. That was great. All right, so I'll take it, and I'm gonna assume that that's what it is, and then I'm gonna try to go rejoin the rejoin the package.
Yeah, I rolled really, really poorly on the firing that was trying to get you, so you're fine. The two judges remaining that need to get up those steps we have Judge Devine. You get up off the ground. You got to make it up those steps without getting shot, and Judge Payne. So how are you guys going up the steps while being shot at?
All right, so I'm gonna back up the steps. And provide cover fire. So I'm assuming I'm looking up at a building, and then there's shots being fired from there. And on either side of the vehicle that we came out of, we're being flanked by two opposing gangs.
Yes.
Which one appear in just a quick assessment? Which is the biggest threat?
Why don't you do a roll for that real quick? I like that. I like you. I think you could probably use either logic or intuition.
Okay.
With whichever skill might be.
Let's see here. I don't think my precog defense. All right, logic is 3d6, and then intuition. Yeah, I'm going to use a logic, so that'll be a 4d6 there.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, he rolled well.
She
17. She rolled well. Yes, 7. 20.
Brilliant. You well, you're going to get a little bit of information here. So, but just to keep the action flowing, we're going to do Judge Payne's. How are you getting up the stairs?
So the stairs are this way, right? Like,
yeah.
So road going this way, the stairs are over here, and I turn my bike. So I'm just gonna get back on my bike, and I'm just gonna drive it up the stairs into the building.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Let's do some vehicle rolling for that one.
All right, riding, and I assume, would you want agility?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I cap at 5d6 because we're grade 5.
Give yourself one extra die for this. Wait, you already capped it, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm at 3
never
only. I get 2 for my agility. I get 1 for my skill.
Add another one
Okay.
for your awesomeness.
That's fine by me. 12.
Yeah. So you're still getting shot at, but you're gonna make it up first. And good news, you're opening the door for everyone with your lawmaster.
It's just blunt force door opening.
You do get shot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's 8 points of damage.
So I take
You
3.
looked awesome while you were getting shot.
Oh yeah.
So I only take 3. It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah. And so you're gonna open the next scene,
Okay.
Judge Payne, because the doors opening to the museum will be the next scene. And the last part of this scene we have Judge Devine. You know what's going on here. You took the time to look both ways, and you can see that the firing in front of you, the people that are on, because of Judge Payne's explosion in the center, those are would have been your main threats right now. But because that's kind of in chaos and stuff, only the fire from left and right are coming at you, and they're a little bit further away. So it's like kind of they're just not as accurate. But the 2 big vans on either side are not vans. I said VW van earlier, or bus earlier, so I have that in my head. Armored vehicles with the rubber ducky painted on one and the flaming skull painted on the other. It doesn't look like they're wanting to shoot you. They're squaring off against each other.
Ooh.
And you hear your senior judge comes on the radio just at that moment that you make that kind of, you put the pieces together and realize what's happening here. And she says, get the package to the halls of justice. I just called in a chopper or air support to lift you out of this building. You got to make it to the top. And then there's a big explosion where her bike is, and she's out of your line of sight, but the explosion makes you think she's probably dead.
All right. So is there still fire coming from that center where Payne put the explosive charge into it, the incendiary charge?
It's not really. It's more like no. It's not like a big huge flame. You can see inside of it. People are getting up after having been knocked about.
Okay. And am I taking fire as I back up? I'm bringing up the rear. So
yeah.
Well, then I'm just going to shoot and provide as much cover fire as I can for everybody getting back up into the museum.
Okay, and you take 7 points of damage in shots coming at you, but you can soak that. Remember.
All right, so it's 2. So all right. Okay. All right. Ouch.
Okay, so the next scene, it cuts. The camera cuts to this calm, serene, kind of a what is it called? Like a foyer, like the entrance to a gallery, and it's just the water fountain on one side, and even though this is like the dystopian future, there are places that are pleasant, and this is one of them. And there's music playing. It's classical, and you see the camera picks up like a docent leading a small group of people.
It's not the girl from Ipanema.
Across the floor of the entrance, the grand hall entrance of this museum, until Judge Payne. Take us through. What does it look like?
Well, I come crashing through the door on my Lawmaster. But then I come crashing through the door, sending door everywhere, and I probably how far is the fountain from the door? Maybe 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
So the momentum I needed to get up the stairs, I totally crashed into the fountain. But I turned my bike around when I hit the fountain, so it's facing the door, and then I put it in guard mode. So it'll attack if they come through the door.
Oh, I secretly was hoping someone would bring a Lawmaster in here for that exact reason.
So it's on guard mode with its Cyclops laser and then its 2 machine guns, watching the door for any non-judges.
I love it. I just immediately thought of the Batman, the Batman.
Oh yeah,
loiter or whatever it was. Yeah. Okay, so you bust through. Everybody's screaming. People are running all over the place, and the other judges come running in after and go past your Lawmaster as it gets set up into that mode. It's basically just a sentry turret now, right? Just
basically, yeah. I'll just shoot anybody who tries to come into the museum now.
Well, the last thing that you all heard was that you needed to get the package up this building to the roof where you'll be airlifted out of there. But you also have 2.
I saw this Judge Dredd movie. I know how this goes. We got to get to the top of the building.
Right?
Yeah. I'm going to say to the other judges, I have the package. Let's go.
The gorilla swipes it out of your hand and just drops you to the floor because you were gripping it. And you look up and you see this gorilla with a really stern look on its face, and it does one of these, fingers at its eyes and then right at you. It looks to be somewhat intelligent. What do you 4 judges want to do?
It's definitely smarter than Judge Novak.
Well, I will see. I think only one of you guys get shot, right?
I got shot, and Judge Debbie got shot.
Yeah,
I got shot as well.
So we all got shot, actually.
It's such a good medic to look around and be like, so y'all are okay, right?
Because we're all bleeding.
No shots.
Hey,
No
hey,
wonder
you want a
we're
promotion?
judges. This
Anyone
is the
want
worst.
any drugs?
You want a promotion? Give me a Band-Aid.
All right. And I walk over and I open my med kit and I take out a Band-Aid and I open it and where do you want it? Where do you hurt?
Right here. This is what.
And so I just take the little Band-Aid and I put it on the tip of his nose and I push it down. Do you want me to kiss it?
Yeah.
And then right as you say that, though, as you say, I want to kiss it, the gorilla leans forward and kisses Judge Debbie right on the Band-Aid.
I love you too, Coco. That's just.
And then I know Victory Edition Games really went all out on the budget for this. We have explosions and a gorilla.
Hey, I spare no expense on these.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to head over to the docent, who's probably a little shell-shocked.
Okay.
You need to get everybody out of here. Lock yourselves in some rooms.
What are you doing to our museum? This is a cultural hub.
Culture is secondary to pursuit of the law.
That can't be a thing. This is my life.
Either move these people into a room, or if you're facing one of your ISO cube for interfering with an ongoing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. As soon as you cite the law, she ushers them all into the back area. They just leave. They go off camera. It doesn't really matter where they go. They're just off camera. And all of you are in this entryway, and you hear gunfire from outside, and then you also kind of a loudspeaker kind of a thing goes on, and you hear from the outside. It's slang for the judges is J's, right? I read. I feel like I read that, but I don't want to say that and then have Doug have to deal with all the repercussions online.
all the Judge Dredd hate.
So we'll just say the judge equivalent expletive comes busting through, and it says from the outside, "Judges, your day has come. the headbangers are gonna come in there and we're gonna kill you and we're gonna take that gorilla. And then you hear another loudspeaker come on and you hear, quack, quack, judges. We're gonna get to you first and then we're gonna kill the headbangers. And then the camera settles on the four of you and the gorilla, who hasn't changed its position, still hugging Judge Clayton.
Being a tech, can you pull up a blueprint of the area of this building?
I'm going to say that there's a terminal on the wall that I'm going to hack into.
Just do your hacking. Give us a roll for that.
While he's doing that, I'm grabbing all the equipment out of my Lawmaster storage compartments, extra ammo, an extra day stick, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm going to go up and can I see out the? I want to see what they're doing as they're approaching. Can I get some cover behind some cover?
Yeah,
check out what's going on at the front.
Yeah, so go give us sort of let's see, intuition would be like the core of what you're doing, or logic. It's up to you because you're sort of like trying to figure out the situation, right?
Yeah. So okay. Well, I could use intuition. I have telepathy too. Does that help in any way, or is it? Do you want to try
to read the mind of one of the people with the big megaphone things?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know about distance and how that's going to work for this exact things, but I like the idea of you trying to read one of their minds. Do you want to read the mind of the duck, or the flaming skull with the megaphone?
I just can't take the duck people seriously, so I'm going to go for the skulls.
All right, so you'll do that. That'll be your role, and then we've got Judge Novak giving us what is that? Which skill is going to help you with?
I'm gonna say my logic, and what else did I say it was? I thought it was like logic and survival. Maybe I think that's what I used.
I don't know. Does anybody have any skills that are like the tech hacking type skills that might help? If not, then
tactics.
Yeah,
what I can think of.
But I don't think Judge Novak has that.
Yeah, no, I was trying to see.
But you know what? You're going to get an extra die because you're using a computer terminal that's meant to tell people where things are in a museum.
Okay.
So I imagine it's pretty user-friendly. Exactly. Like, you are here.
So here.
Okay.
You're trying to get a little bit more information out of it. So I mean, basically, you're just trying to get above like a 15. To get everything you want.
Definitely rolled over. I rolled a 22. So.
You didn't roll 3 6s, did you?
No, I did not. I only rolled one.
I like the kind of a critical success in this is pretty neat. Okay, so you're going to get the schematic. So as the schematics are coming up and your visor, like we see your visor with all these blueprints kind of scrolling. Yeah, exactly. As you're hacking through, we go past Judge Payne, who's preparing, kind of doing that whole like action movie montage, getting ready for. Yeah, exactly. You have way too many clips and constantly getting the gun ready to fire. And then we go over to Judge Devi with the psi ability, and you're going to read minds. So what'd you roll for the headbangers? This is against their mental.
Yeah, I rolled an 18.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Okay, so you pick up that the headbanger is going to be sending people after you because he's you can't hear his words. He's saying this to someone next to him. It's like the get me the blank squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what he says, like what you're reading in his mind is, oh man, once the mean Pete's get their hands on these judges, they're screwed. And he says to the person, when you kind of pick that up, you can read the lips almost, and he says, send in the mean Pete's.
All right. Communicated back to the judges. Mean Pete's incoming.
Yeah, and any of you, I don't know if this maybe would be like the street judge, but any of you that might know, you can roll your logic or intuition and law if you have the skill, and try to figure out if you know who the mean Pete's are.
Yeah, okay.
I rolled a 15.
You're good.
I got a 14.
You're good.
And I got 23.
Oh yeah, you all three of you know who the Mean Pete's are, and one of you don't know because the gorilla covered your ears as soon as they said the Mean Pete's. But the Mean Pete's are a hit squad, and they're hired by gangs, and they're not cheap. They're pretty expensive, and there's 5 of them, and they're coming in this building after you somehow, and they're gonna try to kill you.
Okay, Novak, do you want to kind of lead the way? Because
yeah, I'll tell everybody that I see a plan to get to the top of the roof, and
then these two can shoot whatever comes in as give us cover fire.
Sure.
As you're leading the way. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want to take the elevator or the stairs?
Stairs.
It's one of those big atrium exposed elevators that goes up about 20 stories.
Yes.
Yes, I love the elevator idea.
Okay. And
I hope I get to throw somebody out of that elevator.
That's the main reason why I know Alan's chomping at the bit to make some nasty, damage.
So you've got the elevator. You all get in the elevator and you hear the classic ding, and you get on and it starts going up, and you all look down and you see 5 figures casually walk into the area where the Lawmaster is ready to kind of lay down fire, and one of them drops this big shield, like an oversized comically large riot shield, and the Lawmaster's just pelting the front of it with these. It's just. And then this giant one of the 5 of them is this giant gorilla, and with these 2 giant grenade launchers, and just over the top of the thing, just destroys your Lawmaster. It just the last thing you see as you go up, probably the 3rd story up, it just gets disintegrated.
Can we shoot him?
Destroying legal equipment is 3 years in the ISO cube.
That's it. Just 3 years.
You know that the giant gorilla with the grenade launchers is Boom Boom Sally.
Boom
Boom Sally.
Boom Sally.
Well, so I'll turn to Debbie. Well, I would arrest them for that, but I suspect they'll commit further crimes shortly, so we can wait and get the maximum sentence.
I love the street judge. And so as the elevator's kind of going up, you see that the 4 of them they kind of go out of your view. There are all of these suspended things like pterodactyls and spaceships and all these, as you're going up each level, whatever the theme of that level or the exhibit of that level is what's hanging kind of suspended around you.
So, question. So they're down there. Is there something I could shoot that would fall on them, like a pterodactyl?
Oh yeah.
I would like to shoot a pterodactyl so it falls on them.
So as soon as you get to the prehistoric exhibit, you see these pterodactyls, and okay, so they don't seem to want to shoot you because it seems like they want that gorilla.
Right.
That's what you're getting.
So I'm going to aim, which gives me an extra D6 on my attack roll.
Yep.
But then I'm assuming a called shot is some sort of dice penalty, right?
Not for that. You're trying to hit a target. You're good.
Okay. 21.
Wow.
Yeah. So the pterodactyl, just describe how it falls.
Well, so I shoot it's hanging by cables like a museum, right?
Yeah.
So I shoot off the cable, and there's only one cable for a minute, so it's kind of flopping before it can't hold the weight, and it snaps, and it kind of just does this spiral down. And crash lands right near on them, or however you want to do that.
Yeah. So we'll say that as it does that, kind of like sometimes when a feather or a leaf falls, right before it hits the ground, it does like a swoop up. It basically just goes down. The group, like the small figures that were the Mean Pete's, they they don't seem affected by the pterodactyl at first, like worried by it. But when it starts going a little bit more sporadic or erratic, they scatter. And we'll say the pterodactyl comes in and swoops up and just decapitates one of them.
Nice.
So now there are
sentence rendered.
I got to figure out which of the mean Pete's you just killed. Oh, we'll say
Pete one.
Pete one. We'll say that it wasn't.
It wasn't Motel Sally.
It wasn't Boom Boom Sally.
Wow, that's bad.
This one was so they had these two like machine guns, like one in each hand, and they walk into the center and they aim both machine guns, getting ready to take out the elevator that you're in, or shoot around it. Like they don't want it, But this thing comes in and just totally cuts the head off, and because there's now a big hole in the elevator because you shot through it, you can hear one person go down to their knees, and it's a person that has this big tank on their back, like a flamethrower kind of tank, and they have the body of this decapitated Mean Pete in their hand and in their arms, and they yell and they go, "You'll pay for this, judges! You killed Pew Pew Pete!" And they just cradle the body as you guys kind of go out of view. But you know that the Mean Pete's, the 4 remaining Mean Pete's, are coming after you. The gorilla, Boom Boom Sally, runs and starts climbing the elevator shaft. And you just hear like kind of the clang, you feel the clanging of the stuff. You guys are going up. And about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories, the elevator stops. And it just can't really go any further. And you have to try to get off this elevator or do something.
Is it just below the entrance to the doorway?
For thematic reasons, it's going to be like that halfway. Like
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Did the door slide open, or can we grip that and force the door open?
I think 2 of you could probably work together to make the roll. So it'll
All
be
right.
a strength roll for 2 of you.
I got a
Judge
strength of
Payne.
9, so
Judge Payne.
Judge Payne, I'll help Judge Payne.
all right. So I'm gonna use my day stick as like a crowbar, kind of.
Yeah, okay.
To get some extra.
You can add a die for that for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we both do that and try to pry it open.
Yeah. Well, on my 5d6 roll, I am batting an 8.
Ooh, I got a.
So, I would assume I break my day stick or something. That was 3 1s and 2 2s. That was terrible.
Oh,
I got a 12.
All right. Well, we're gonna say that you get it open on one of the doors opens, and your day stick gets lodged in there, and it can't come out. You lost the day stick, but you.
I was thinking I had a spare.
Good thing you had that montage. That preparation.
That's right.
So you can all climb out of there, and we'll say that the first one through is going to be Judge Clayton.
Yes.
You have a gorilla hugging you.
Yes, I do.
The gorilla has a backpack on now. You make it through. They help you up. You get in and you look around. What is like the exhibit that's on this floor?
Egyptian.
All right. So you've got the classic, King Tut type. That you, as soon as you get out, you kind of like stand up straight, and it's like right there in your face.
There's a couple, tall statues of Anubis. There's maybe some various different sarcophagi laying around.
Yep, that's what you're looking at, and the rest of you climb out into this Egyptian exhibit, and you hear the sounds behind you of a gorilla climbing up after you.
Holy Tutankhamun. Does anybody have we don't have a charge or like a grenade or anything like that, do we? We have stun charges.
I mean, I've got incendiary bullets.
Yeah, I was just thinking we could set a charge there for when he came up.
Can I rig my day stick to explode somehow?
Would that be a kind of a technology?
No, I'm being sarcastic. I can't imagine my billy club explodes.
Okay. Well, what? So if we can set something. I'm going to motion them to go, and I'm going to do a side blast on the gorilla when he comes close enough.
Okay, so you'll stay behind. The rest of you are gonna get going. You know
I'll stay behind with Judge Devi.
Okay, you know that the mean Pete's are gonna be on you because they're that's just what they do. They kill people, specifically judges, and so you're being hunted, and two of you are staying at the elevator. So let's start with the two. We'll say that as you two are getting ready to fight Boom Boom Sally, the other two and the gorilla start going up the stairs, you're going upstairs, and the stairs are actually like a pyramid. So it's meant to look like it's part of the exhibit. And as you're going up it's narrowing towards the top, and so you're going one at a time through, and you're on the next floor up. So you're above them now, but it's still part of this Egyptian exhibit. You're just in a different part of it. You have here you have rolling sands. Those big dioramas in museums where you have the stuffed animal. This is the rolling hills of the Nile with an alligator, a crocodile, and then you have on the other side of it you have a bunch of a big tableau of people building, just putting blocks on rollers and all that stuff. So very, very thematic, very expensive shot. And you're walking into that giant room. You also hear something from the gorilla.
The little one?
Mm-hmm. The little one, not Boo Boo Sally.
Okay.
The little one, and it says, "I'm hungry."
Go.
Okay. What are you hungry for?
Food.
What do you eat? What kind of food?
And she gestures for her backpack.
Okay. So I'll let her down and then open her backpack.
She doesn't let go of you.
Oh, she doesn't.
Oh no. She's been fully you're gonna have marks, bruises on your back.
If I try, okay. I can't reach. Can you help me, Novak?
Nope. You hear as soon as you say that, you hear, "Yeah, help, Novak."
Why are we stopping here, guys? We've got to keep going. We got to get to the top of this building.
Just get some food out of her backpack, please, for her. Come on, look, I got your back here. I'll turn around and face the door, so if something comes through, I'll shoot it.
All right, so I'll open the backpack really hastily, and I'll grab I'll feel around, and I guess I'll pull out whatever's in there.
Okay. Well, what piece of fruit is in there?
I'm gonna say it's just go with the banana, because that's the obvious choice.
Stereotypical, huh?
Yeah, well,
as soon as you pull it out, her arm comes off of of Judge Clayton and kind of puts its hand flat behind it so you can give it the banana.
Yep. All right,
and then the gorilla repeats exactly what Novak said before. "Why are we waiting here? We should be going."
See, what did I say? Let's go.
All right. Let's.
It's some strange,
right behind you. Let's go.
Some strange gorilla parrot hybrid.
All right, so you're going through the exhibit towards the end of the hall, and let's say so Novak, you're the one who knows where to go. What is the path that you're taking look like right now? Where are you trying to get to? Since you can't take the elevator now, where are you going?
I know that there is a fire escape, and so I know it's behind, it's not really obvious, but I know it's not the main stairway. So okay. I'm trying to get to this. It's in this service hallway that is behind the exhibit.
Okay. You also know from when you did your scan earlier that there are a lot of other elevators. That's sort of the main one that like people would use to, but there's other elevators. It's a very large building, but not all of them go from the first floor all the way to the top.
Right.
So that from the floor you're at, you will need to go up a couple floors before you can get to another like roof access type elevator. And it's it's one of those like the shipping ones or the commercial size, like that when they want to load like a huge exhibit, they're going to take that one up. That's
Sure.
the elevator you're trying to get to, but you got to go up a little bit to get there. And I'm assuming you probably told the other judges that that's what your plan was. Okay, so you guys are heading there. There's a couple like kind of people cowering to one side as you go through. Little child says, "Look, a monkey," and the gorilla goes, "Hey, kid, I'm not a monkey." And then you keep going through that area, and you get through to where that fire escape is, and it's the scene. You know how you look down, or you go into a fire escape. You look up, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to go up all these stairs, but then you look down, you can see it kind of spiral all the way down.
Right.
You see it spiraling all the way down, and there is definitely somebody running up those steps, but they're running up them much faster than a person should normally be able to run.
Okay.
All right, Novak, you got this.
Can I look and see what it is that's running up? Like, well, if I look at them, will they appear to like be something that I would know?
You could give a roll. You could roll.
Okay. Let's see here. 12.
You're pretty sure it's one of the Petes, one of the mean Petes, and you're pretty sure that this mean Pete is probably a mutant.
Okay.
If it wasn't the speed, that's giving it away. It's the 4 arms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually a good clue.
And right now, all 4 arms. Well, we'll get to that point in a moment. You know it's one of the Petes, and you know that they're probably gonna catch up to you pretty soon here.
Okay.
Do you want to try going up, or do you want to stay? What are you two gonna do?
I think we should probably hold our ground and take care of this, and then go up.
Yeah, I want to send I'm going to shoot like an explosive. Yeah, just like I'm going to use my lawgiver and shoot like a high explosive incendiary like before in the stairs, like before he gets to it.
Okay.
Before they get to it.
Okay.
Hopefully slow him down.
Okay. So go ahead and give us a roll for the shot.
Okay. Oh, that was a 9.
Okay. Well, you shoot, obviously. The gun goes off, and a big explosion happens, but it happens two floors, like 2 flights of stairs below where this person is running. And when the explosion happens, a big burst and some smoke, and then out of the smoke, jumping towards you, and we'll cut for a moment to a kind of a 3-scene or 3-panel comic page layout where you have the explosion, a shadowy figure through fog, and then the fog pulling away from them as 4 arms, all with these blades in each hand, are jumping towards you through the smoke. And the 2 of you are in combat against this this member of the Mean Petes, who is a mutant with 4 arms, swords, or some sort of machetes, and a name tag on a very, very like pristine looking, like my name is Slippery Pete.
I picture like one of the Borderlands flash scenes from the video game where like it cuts for a minute and slow freezes and has some clever tag. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what it is. and as you are bracing yourselves for Slippery Pete, let's cut back over to the other 2 who are standing in front of the elevator.
Whoa, not in front of. We're like 25 feet back. I'm not just like looking over the elevator. It's like a derp.
Yeah.
All right. To be fair, the Stallone Dredd would.
Well,
you're not. I'm
more Carl Urban Dredd.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll see how it
All right.
goes up.
So the 2 of you describe how you're positioned again.
Is there any cover? I mean, like a wall or something like that. We could be,
Well, you said they're sarcophaguses, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pile some sarcophaguses like a barricade.
Yeah. We have time to. We had enough time to do that. Throw some exhibits down, some things, kind of pile it up to make a barrier.
Okay. You yeah. So you're both kind of aiming at the elevator, and you hear the booming climbing sounds and smashing get louder and louder and louder, and all of a sudden they stop. And you're waiting. You're both calm, too quiet, and then a huge explosion happens behind you, and the ground below you explodes, and you're both now kind of pushed a little bit against the sarcophagus that you were taking cover behind, and a large figure is jumping through that hole. But you guys can go first.
Is it Harry?
The situation? Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I mean, I'm gonna shoot it, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Well, we should probably give it the same scene we gave Slippery Pete. So Boom Boom Sally, when Boom Boom Sally jumps through and is in midair, we'll do the same thing that Alan mentioned. It's freezes. You get the name tag and it says Boom Boom Sally, but there's an exclamation point after each boom, and this gorilla has lipstick on, and then is in midair with 2 grenade launchers, one in each hand.
This is behind us, right?
Yep. So you're both you're both sitting down with your backs to the sarcophagus you were going to be taking cover behind, and now it's behind you. So you're both firing?
Yeah, we get 2 actions each round in combat, right? So I'm going to shoot twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll fire twice. I'm just using standard X. 22 with my first attack. And 22 with my second attack. I like these dice. These dice are staying for when I have to kill Doug's character next month in Tiny Dungeon.
Oops.
Like I'll need dice. All right, so 2 hits, 2 damage rolls.
Yep.
11 and 12.
All right. I do the same. I just do a barrage of
Just double tap, center of mass.
Double tap, center of mass, yeah. 10, 14 on one of my attacks, and then 13 on the other one.
Okay, so your shots go wide.
Both of them?
Yeah. And I think it's because the shots that Judge Payne get kind of cause it to pivot, but it's a gorilla, so it's got like these excellent reflexes. So its feet grab onto, let's say, this big obelisk statue thing, grab onto it, and its top hand kind of arm wraps around the top of it, kind of like picture King Kong on the Empire State Building. This is, or whatever, was it Sears Tower?
No, it was Empire State Building.
It was Empire State.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is on top of this big like statue, arm around it, still with the grenade launcher in hand, and is getting ready to aim the grenade launcher right in between the two of you. And the Judge Payne, you know that the shots that you fired hit, and you know that you injured it. But Boom Boom Sally is gonna try to blow you up.
Fair enough.
So here we go. I need to see your.
My defense is 10 against ranged attacks.
Is that right? I'm wondering what the explosion. We'll say the explosion could be. Yeah, it'll be the same. And then, so you're gonna take 12 points of damage.
Oh. Hey, if only the medic had mediced me earlier, I'd have some extra health. But he left without doing any doctor.
Medic offered.
This is, I would say this could probably be soaked though, because it's like an explosion. Okay. It's not a direct hit.
I'm taking 7.
More like
you said 12, right?
Yeah.
And
that hurts.
Ow.
But it doesn't hit. Yeah, it doesn't hit. Devi, you get out of the way.
Nice.
So the two of you have this gorilla problem to deal with.
Excellent.
So it's your move.
How hurt does the gorilla look from where I shot it?
It doesn't appear to be giving any signals of injury. Almost. Well, you've seen this before. Judge Payne. There's drugs involved here.
So it's all hopped up on PCP.
Yeah.
A hopped up gorilla.
Just like a gorilla.
It's all hopped up on potassium.
Boom boom's jacked.
He mainlines the bananas.
Okay.
She's smoking the peels.
All right. So, how are you two gonna deal with this gorilla?
I'm going to blast her mentally, and I'm going to spend 12 psychic points to like wallop her with damage if I hit her.
Wow. Go for it.
The problem is, do I get any additional? So my psi is the one I attack with, right? So is that correct?
Yeah.
Psi versus
mental on the other
mental defense. So do I add anything? Is there any skill that can be applied to that? I think it falls under telepathy under the psionics, but
you can add that.
Oh, well then. Sorry, Sally. 20.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Do your damage.
Okay, so that's let's see, 1d6. I spent 12, so that's 4d6 of damage.
Jeez.
Eat that, gorilla face. 12. I just look at her and my big forehead starts to pulse and I just send out waves of hate.
Wait, do you have to lift your helmet up when you do that, or does it just?
I rip off my helmet. And
your helmet explodes because of the amount of pressure you
can see my temples just bulging. Like it's kind of like that. What was that one movie, The Fury, where they have the veins that go up their heads and they make people explode? It's a really old movie, but yeah, my veins just.
Yeah. So, Judge Payne, your partner, just their head exploded. and the gorilla is hit by this and is thrown off of their perch at the moment, thrown backwards and crashes into all of these other sarcophagi and other things and comes up with one of those head mask kind of things on its head and is kind of flailing about a little bit and about to start just firing the grenade launcher anywhere they want. But it's your turn, Payne.
Okay, so I'm going to grab my day stick. I'm running over there, and I'm going to jump on the gorilla and start wailing away.
All right, go. This is melee. Let's.
Yep. Roll day stick.
Give yourself an extra die because it's kind of vision is obscured.
Okay.
I was going to lower their defense, but I figured this would be better.
I got a 29.
Whoa.
I got 4 6s.
No.
Is it like a critical if you get 4 6s?
That is a critical. You get to add a what do they call it? A condition.
Oh, sweet.
But you could use just sort of narrative for this one.
Can I make it so like they're dazed and they drop the grenade launchers?
Yeah. That'll work perfectly. So for that to happen, I'm kind of envisioning, because the mask thing was just kind of on their head. Maybe you hit it fully on their head, but backwards. Okay. There's no like eye holes to see out of.
Okay, so I hit them so hard, like their helmet spins around and blocks vision.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they you can disarm them with the grenade, or maybe they drop the grenade launchers and try to start pulling it off while you're damaging. But you get to also roll the damage.
Yeah, I did 19. Apparently, my day stick does more damage than my lawgiver. Oh, because I have pacification. I have a thing that gives my day stick extra damage. Okay.
Well, consider Boom Boom Sally permanently pacified.
Nice. Sentence delivered.
Use of a high explosive weapon in a civilian area. Death.
And Judge Payne, you have 2 grenade launchers at your feet.
Now I have 2 grenade launchers on my back.
The handles have been modified just a little bit to allow an oversized gorilla to wield them, but I'm pretty sure you can make do. And the 2 of you, are you going to try to catch up with the others?
Yeah.
All right. As you go running up this pyramid stepped stairway, we cut back up to the 2 of you and let's say Slippery Pete, who I have here in my notes under descriptor as a freaking ninja. It is doing this whirlwind move with their weapons, trying to attack both of you. They swing it at each. I roll 3 2s.
Oh,
And we'll call that Novak. You're safe.
nice.
You're both safe. All right, I built them up as a freaking ninja. Alan, do you run into that often when you when you're GMing for this show?
No. I usually put a scenario in front of them and then watch them just tank themselves. I don't actually have to make enemies. They are their own worst enemy.
Yeah,
Well, that's true. That's true.
I like that approach. In this case, the ninja's going just crazy with weapons, and you both managed to get out of the way. How are you gonna fight back?
I have my lawgiver still out from before, and I'm going to I'm just going to use the standard is it standard EX? Is that what it is?
The setting?
Yeah, the setting. I'll say that, and then fire right at the at Slippery Pete.
All right. Would it be kind of neat to have like a little random roll table where you're caught off guard and you have to say something and use the ammunition? Just you set it to what, you know what I mean?
Well, there's 4, 5, 6 types of ammunition. Just roll a d6.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Freaking ninjas in front of me. I gotta use something. Rubber ricochet.
Yeah, I was thinking that probably wouldn't be as effective.
All right, so go ahead and roll.
You should fire a heat seeker, actually, man. It'll track him. It gives you plus 2d6 on your attack roll.
Oh yeah.
A heat seeker?
Yeah.
How would that apply to a point blank or like a?
They have to be farther than 10 meters away, I guess. So maybe not.
You can take a round to aim if you want, and only do 1 attack this round. And you can also move. You could try to get away from a crazy sword person.
Just hit him with the day stick. Tackle him.
No, I'm not gonna tackle him because he's got 4 arms. That's crazy. That's something Tiny Dungeon Doug would do.
You have one law on your side.
One thing.
More than 2 arms.
One thing that I'll mention here is that we haven't rolled initiative. It's been sort of like self-explanatory so far, but I feel like that, when he landed in front of you, Slippery Pete, and started swinging, that was his round. Now it's your round for this first action. If it goes into a second round, we might have to do initiative. So
Gotcha.
The 2 of you are acting at the same time.
Okay. So I rolled a 16 on my shot.
You definitely hit. Oh wait. Range. This is ranged. Well, yeah, that's a hit.
So it's going to be a 2d6 plus 3. So that is a 10 damage.
Nice.
And after narrowly escaping its attack, and Novak already got his gun out, he's getting ready to shoot. I'm going to start hauling butt up the stairs so that I can at least get to the roof and complete the mission. Impress the boss, man. You'll be fine. You're good to go. So I'm hoofing it.
Just tech judge him or something. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
All right, so you leave the nerd to fend for himself. You go running up the stairs against this four-armed ninja. Okay, so that was 1 attack. Do you want to take another attack or move, Doug? Judge.
Yeah, I'll try to double shoot him and
same type.
same type of.
I think it takes a turn to change your ammunition.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the same ammo and everything. That is just a 10 though.
All right, so he does this awesome kick off of the side rail of the stairs, flips over you as the gun goes off, and the swords get swinging again. But let's go ahead and roll your initiative. Let's do that. And let's see here. Let's see what this guy's got. It's intuition, and Ty goes to the highest agility. So roll your intuition.
Okay. So I rolled a 9.
You win. 9.
Okay.
Yeah, Judge Clayton, you took both your moves basically to get out of here, and so you're going up the stairs. I was gonna say that Slippery Pete tries to stab you or swipe your leg while you're going up, but we have to do initiative here. So because Judge Novak goes before Slippery Pete's gonna try to swipe the leg of the. Oh, that would have no. Scratch that. Novak, you're squaring off against Slippery Pete by yourself.
Nice.
They're already up there.
All right.
So what are you going to do now?
I'm going to... try to run towards the direction of where Clayton was going, and I'll start firing at Slippery Pete. Try to put some distance between me and Pete.
Okay.
But go the direction of where Clayton was going.
Okay. So go ahead and do your shooting.
Sure.
Roll.
So that is a 12.
All right. So he's ducking and dodging. When he sees you get a good a little bit away, and he's not going to be able to necessarily strike at you. He sheathes the two bottom hand, there's two lower arms, sheathe the swords and pull out pistols, and they're like automatic, and so he's going to do sort of spray fire at you, yep. So you take 8 points of damage.
Oof. Okay. But I can soak some of it.
Yeah. And then he kind of does this kind of crouch thing where it looks like he's getting ready to jump real high again.
All right. And I'm going to say to myself, what would Courtney and Chloe do at this point?
What would they do?
I don't.
I mean, what meaning? What are you going to
do? I'm going to. Is it just all open?
It's the stairwell, so it's like it's not very, very wide.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot I'm going to assume that there's a stairwell above him.
Yes.
And I'm going to shoot the ceiling so that hopefully it falls down on top of him.
Okay, and nobody say anything if you're thinking it. Go ahead and roll.
Oh no.
Go ahead and roll. Is this your kind of grenade-y type? Your high explosive?
I'm not going to say it's high explosive. I'm just going to. Yeah, why not? Why high explosive?
Okay.
So that is an 11, 15. That is a 16.
Okay. Roll your damage. And well, wait a minute. Yeah, you can roll the damage for this. You're able to do the damage ×2 to the actual physical, like the stairs above you.
Sure.
But the damage that he takes is I'll just roll that. So don't worry about rolling. Oh my god. So I'll get to this in a moment, but go ahead and Judge Clayton, why don't you roll agility to try not to be falling through this exploded pit, since you just went up the stairs rounding twice and then they got blown out from underneath you.
Yeah, no, I knew that was probably going to happen. So
I love it.
Can I add?
Do you have like dodging?
Can I add running to it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Seven. Oh, no.
Okay. Well, we'll just say you take 6 points of damage.
Okay, soaked up 5, so I take 1.
Okay. This and we're doing just a little bit of that movie magic that as Judge Novak described the stairs falling and crushing Slippery Pete.
Oh, me?
Yeah, like how does it look to you when you're standing there and you just
it's just falling like you see like the first like part of the rubble come down and like Slippery Pete like looks up and then like this big piece of rubble just comes down and it's falling too fast for him to respond or react to, and all of a sudden you just see it like plop down and Slippery the only thing that you see is like guts and blood just like splatter out from underneath it.
And then Judge Clayton falls down, sitting on the top of that rubble, hurting his butt, and the little gorilla on his stomach looks at you, Novak, and just says, "Really?"
Hey, it was the easiest way to stop him, monkey.
And then at calling him a monkey, you get the banana peel thrown at you that she was carrying. And the door opens into the stairwell next to you, Judge Novak, and the two of you, Judge Payne, Judge Devi, you come into the stairwell and see this scene. You're above, so in the stairs going down, from where you're standing on the level. You have Clayton and the gorilla on a pile of rubble, guts and blood all underneath it, and you have Novak standing there with a smoking lawgiver.
Smoke him if you got him.
I guess I guess Slippery Pete wasn't so slippery after all.
He looks a little slippery.
Yeah, one might say he's more slippery now.
Yeah, he's more slippery now.
All right, you four have killed 3 members of the Slippery Pete's. You've killed Pew Pew Pete. You've killed Boom Boom Sally, who surprisingly isn't named Pete, and you've killed Slippery Pete. By your math, that leaves 2 Pete's hunting you.
Wait, wasn't there a Pete that the pterodactyl killed?
Yeah, that was Pew Pew Pete.
That was Pew Pew. Oh, that's right. That was Pew Pew.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
2 Pete's.
So is there like another panel that I can now that I've ruined this, stairway to get up to this next level to the maintenance elevator that we need to get to?
No, you have the schematics.
Well, I downloaded the quickest way possible. I did not anticipate
you didn't download the whole thing.
I didn't anticipate any other alternate routes.
Oh,
he wanted to save space on his device.
That's right.
You're not getting promoted
got a lot
after this.
Hey, there is the Keeping Up with the Kardashians has this is like their 30th season, and I've got to save all that space for my hard drive to download all of that onto my computer.
Oh boy.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
So
are we still in the stairwell?
So we're still in the stairwell, and can I jack into a terminal to see if we can get an easier way besides the way that we
get at least 2 more routes. At least.
I'd say you'd have to backtrack a tiny ways or go forward a tiny ways to get to a terminal. I don't think there's one immediately next to you. Oh wait, are we doing a 2-hour mark for this?
Yeah, let's do 2-hour mark. That's fine.
Yeah, the terminal's right next to you.
All right.
You look to your left, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna have to backtrack a little bit or maybe go ahead. And then you look to your left, you're like, never mind, it's right here.
And so I'm gonna jack into the terminal and find another way to get to the ceiling or to get to the roof.
you basically are familiar from your first roll. It's not that difficult to find a way. You could do one of two things. You can either go back through the Egyptian exhibit where there's another elevator that you can go up, or you can go. You're in the fire escape kind of stairwell. There's just sort of more of those exhibit style, like where actually, people that are paying to go there would walk up, the steps to the next part of the exhibit. It's just a little bit more in the open.
Okay, so guys, we can either go up the stairway, or we can go back through the Egyptian exhibit to get to the elevator that we need to get to. Which way do you guys want to go?
The fastest path is a direct line. Let's just go up the stairs.
I agree with Judge Payne.
Okay, monkey in the middle. I don't care who's on front, who's in back, but we'll be in the middle.
Payne, you want to take point? I'll take the rear.
And I'll stay in the middle with the monkey.
All right.
and the gorilla.
So we're gonna say you guys go.
I see what you did there.
You guys go up the stairway going up. It's another one of those kind of pyramid things. It's part of the exhibit, and you get to the top, and you as you're going towards the top, you hear this like just kind of almost like insane laughter echoing throughout the whole thing. And when you get to the top, you see this small sign that says what the exhibit is, and you're going into the Hall of Pharaohs. And it's you see that everything around you looks like tombs, and it looks like catacombs, and it's meant to give the people who are paying to see this attraction sort of that feeling like they're lost in the catacombs. And there are these torches on the walls, but they have this it's fake, but it's meant to look like real fire. And then there's sort of like vents with pockets of heat kind of blowing every now and then to give the feeling like there's actual heat coming off of this place. And you're going through these catacombs. And so as soon as you get to the top, the Judge Payne's last remarks about the straight line, you all notice there really isn't one in this chamber. It's going to be a little bit of dungeon delving.
I immediately draw my lawgiver and call out stun to set it to the stun. Just in case, I accidentally hit one of the other judges. I know my aim's not that great, so I'd rather stun them than brutally kill them. And if I hit the bad guy, at least I can stun them for them to target.
All right,
so that's my thought process there. So I am armed and ready.
Okay, how are you guys going to go through this?
I would assume just the same way we've been going, right?
Causing untold amounts of property damage and structural issues. Yes, we will continue our path of obliterating anything that might stand in our way, be it a mundane wall or an enemy.
All right. Well, who's taking point?
I will.
All right. Who's in the rear?
I'll take the rear.
All right, Novak, you and Clayton and the gorilla are in the middle.
Right.
So kind of winding through, and there's a big like kind of a. So this will be Judge. Judge Payne. Sorry, I was going to call you. I kept thinking Dredd. Judge Payne.
That means I'm role playing right.
Right. Exactly. You round the corner. In this one part of like the exhibit, and there's this big panel that's like a TV screen type thing that's giving you the appearance like there's a big like flame, like climbing like something's on fire, and you're kind of like whatever. And then at the end of the hall, you see the very, very similar sight, except that fire is coming towards you, is really hot, and is actually real. You're the only one that turned the corner so far. Like if you're the only one standing in that part of the chamber, everybody else is behind you.
I look back at everybody. How thick is the fire?
We'll say like three, like maybe thick.
Like a wall of fire, or is like just
a wall? It's like at about chest height, and I don't know, maybe like 3-4 feet in diameter coming towards you.
Just
like
so it's not even like a thing you drop fire. It's literally just a piece of fire coming towards me.
It looks almost like it's the bad side of a flamethrower.
Oh, I step back around the corner and wait. And I'll look at my my lawgiver and ricochet. And I'll just fire 2 shots down the hallway.
All right. So as the fire erupts past all of you, and Judge Payne just puts his arm out to sort of stop the parade from continuing. This fireball goes flying past you with a stream behind it, and then it sort of like does that flamethrower drippy thing where it stops it sort of peters back. And go ahead and give us the ricochet roll.
All right.
This is gonna be pretty high.
I
think you can use if you want to use luck. I think luck lets you add a die.
Well, it can take me above my cap because I'm capped out with my lawgiver.
Nope.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're good. Wait. I'm sorry. I think it does. And I will
luck.
I read that about luck, and if I'm wrong, I really apologize. But I really liked that that part of the book where I read through it, and I was like, oh, so luck is the only way to take you above the cap. But again, if not, I apologize, creators of this game. But so what was your total?
If I can use luck for an extra dice, I have a 32.
Oh,
and if you don't,
then I have a 26.
Well, you're good either way. So go ahead and describe it.
So I fire 2 ricochets down the hallway, and they're kind of bouncing off stuff. Is there an enemy on the back end of the fire, like a flamethrower?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So unfortunately, I miss him, but I accidentally sever the cord on his flamethrower. So it starts spraying fuel everywhere on him.
Yeah. So all of the 3 of you, we're going to put the camera at the angle of the 3 judges, like almost like one head, then the other head, then the other head, trying to look what's going on. And then the gorilla kind of hanging off of Judge Clayton's head or chest. All of you are looking at this, and you see the flame hit the wall, and then you see the ricochet shots go, and then you hear, ha ha ha, you missed me. Ah, crap. Oh, no, not that. No. Oh, no. And then the footsteps as this flaming person runs past you and smacks into the same wall and then falls down in a small pile of flame. And then the only thing that you can see is on the flamethrower, we'll say that it didn't do a huge explosion because that would kill y'all. So there's a big piece of masking tape with the words Spicy Pete written on it.
Not nice. Flaming Pete, but Spicy Pete.
Spicy Pete.
He's now Flaming Pete.
Yeah. So you just ricocheted Spicy Pete, and now you can continue down the hall.
And then there was one.
All right, so you all are making it to this elevator that Judge Novak told you about. You get on the elevator, and you make it up to the roof. And now you have one of those kind of like roof access doors, so you come out and you're like level with the roof. Mm-hmm. And it's a big circular shape. There's 2 helipads, 2 big helipads, so space for obviously 2 helicopters land. It's a very big area. So think of it like a big open area. And standing in between both of the helicopter pads is an individual, and they look they have a kind of a poncho. They're pretty big, like bulky, and they have a poncho on.
Is it Poncho Pete?
Damn it, Doug.
No!
Also, no. No, but that would have probably been better. They have the drop on you when you all come out onto the roof, and a psychic burst of energy is being launched at all of you. So I'm rolling against your mental defense right now, and it looks like 14, 16, 18, 16. Okay. I'm just going to say your name and say how much damage you take if you take some. Okay. Devi, you're good. And Clayton, you take 9 points.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Novak, you take also 9 points.
Oh,
Pain, you don't take any.
Nice.
Why would I?
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, so you guys could sort that out. I don't believe you can soak that type of damage.
Right.
So that's you're all met by this just wave of psychic energy, and then the being takes a couple steps towards you and says, in a voice that almost echoes, "Give me the gorilla."
How far away are they from me?
About 30, 40 feet.
So more than 10
no,
meters?
Yeah, it's gonna be let's say like 12 meters, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. You want the gorilla?
Give me the gorilla.
I look back at the gorilla. Then I shoot him with the heat seeker.
The gorilla?
No, the guy talking to us. Not the gorilla. I was unclear. I realized my error.
Son of a.
No!
So we're
Surprise!
gonna have...
I guess I'm a traitor.
There are bad judges. You have this moment of like you look back at the gorilla and it gives you those like Puss in Boots kind of like puppy dog eyes, and it's just like it goes a close up on your face, close up on its face. Every time it looks cuter and more like puppy doggish, and every time you look exactly the same.
I'm in my judge helmet with the dark, the visor, so you can actually see anything. It just zooms in a little closer.
Yeah, you slightly see the reflection of the cameraman in it because we couldn't spring for that editing, but otherwise we
blew it all on the Michael Bay explosion.
that's right.
exactly, and the Borderlands animators.
Those guys don't come cheap. All right,
no.
I'll fire my high X thing.
Yep. Yeah, and everybody else, it's your rounds too, and we'll say that you're kind of like scattered around just a little bit since anyone who took damage kind of like held your head, like moved away a little bit, so you're not all in a little ball.
Okay. So firing high heat seeker, 1827.
That's it.
I can't open a door, but I can fire a gun.
Who needs to open a door when you have a lawgiver or a lawmaster?
Doors are for people who don't have the law on their side.
All right, roll your damage.
Okay. So heat seeker is just 2d6 ballistic. 11.
Oh, nice hit there.
Okay. Who else is going?
I'm gonna. Go ahead.
Just because I'm twitchy. So after all this, high explosive. Oh my God! 10.
If you shot your foot, we're gonna have a problem.
Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Nah, you didn't shoot your foot, but unless you want to, I mean, you can hit anything you want on the roof except for the bad guy.
That's how the actual play ends. We all die because our team blew us up.
Sweet. What
Go buy this game, guys.
What else is up on the roof?
You probably have a couple big antennas. I think the top of this building. I think this is the building that has one of the like big transponders. Like, anyway, there's a big like satellite. We'll say satellite dish looking thing.
Let's satellite. I think that would be funny.
So it just your gun goes off and startles the gorilla, who jolts you to one side, and you just launch a what type of round?
High explosive.
All right. If we weren't playing with the quick start rules, what I would do right now is this game has a really cool mechanic using countdowns, using dice pools, and we'd use a countdown right now because that big old dish is coming down at some point, and hopefully before you guys.
Is our helicopter on the roof?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. And who's next?
Hopefully there's still a roof when it gets here.
I'll fire twice at the Poncho.
Okay.
Poncho Pete.
Poncho Pete. That's a 19 for one. And then what is that? And an 18 for the second one.
Okay. What was the first one, sorry?
19.
Okay, roll your damage on both.
All right. That's 2d6 plus 4, so that is 11 on one and 9 on the other. Eat lead, lawbreaker.
All right, and Novak.
Yeah, I'm just going to start shooting at him too. I'm just going to use the standard shot. The first one is a 9. I don't think that's probably going to hit.
Nope.
And the second one is a 12.
No. Oh man.
No.
As you should. So this thing, this being in front of you, this poncho wearing being, so far hasn't moved. So anyone who shot it just sort of like is taking the shots. It kind of like leans forward and then stands up, and you could tell it's like much taller than you originally thought, and broad shouldered, and you could see that it's actually an ABC robot, and the shots and stuff you've been hitting it with, no blood or anything like that, and the poncho, a gust of wind kind of blows past, and the poncho lifts, and inside the body cavity of this ABC robot is a very small person with a very large head.
Krang.
I'm just glad that the robot was wearing pants when the poncho lifted.
Yeah.
I'm just happy with that.
Yeah. No, the robot's wearing pants. The small person inside is not.
Oh well.
Oh no!
There are pants. Everybody's wearing. This is
Deadpool 2 scene. This is Shrinky Pete.
So you have a big old robot, and you have a small, clearly psychic. What do they call it? They're called a psychic perp. And the robot fires at Pain. You take 9 points. Fires at Devi. You take 11 points.
Oh, I am at half health, folks.
I'm only at four points left, by the way.
That's even with your soak on that?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
All right. Where's this helicopter?
We'll say it's up above, coming. It's like swooping in now.
Yeah.
It's a very cool looking Judge Dreddy type vehicle.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Giant golden eagle of justice on it.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Somehow projecting the shadow of a winged eagle, even though there's no way that any light source could have provided that on the roof. And you have this the ABC robot fires at you at all of you, like with just these, and 2 of you get hit, and then it looks up and turns and points both hands up high, and it's all at your turn.
I'm gonna run and tackle it.
Oh, tackling a robot. That's so cool. Okay, go. And the rest of you, actually, while he's doing this, the rest of you can go. If you're shooting, anyone who's shooting should shoot first.
All right.
Finger.
So I start running towards it. There's no way I'm letting this thing shoot that helicopter.
I'm going
I actually 12, 13. Oh, wow. I can't count that high.
That's a good sign for your hitting it.
Yeah. 23.
Yeah,
Nice.
roll your damage.
Okay. Let's see. High explosive, 2d6 plus 2. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, isn't
Okay.
it two times versus a robot, though? 2 times the damage?
Does it say
Oh,
that?
yeah, it does say that.
Yeah.
If you use high explosive, yeah, it's double damage against robots.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay, so a
that's
high
16.
explosive shot. We're gonna say that you blow one of its arms off,
Woohoo!
and
Grin on my face, like, yeah.
and the psychic being in its little kind of abdomen chest cavity area, it looks like it's gonna try to send a little psychic wave of energy at Judge Payne, but I believe Devi gets to go next.
I shot it with. I get to go twice, right?
Yeah, 2 actions. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 high explosive rounds. 17 for one, the first one, and then the second attack was plus 19 for the second one.
Roll the damage. 7. Yeah. Roll the damage.
7 times 2, which is 14, and then 6 times 2, which is 12. That thing better blow up.
Let's say you're shooting at the robot, not the psychic being.
Yeah, I'm going to blow the robot to pieces.
All right, so we're going to say that a leg gets blown off, and it's balancing perfectly fine on one leg at the moment, and has one arm still trained on the helicopter that is coming in. But I think we have Novak left.
Yeah.
Come on, Novak, you can do this.
So yeah, I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna say high explosive and shoot 2 high explosive charges at it. My first one was 17, and then my second one was 13.
Roll damage once.
Roll on my one. Okay. So that is an 11 times 2, so it's gonna be 22.
Jesus. Okay, so you have that was high explosive as well. So this robot is being riddled with explosions. An arm gets blown off, a leg gets blown off, and the little the psychic in its little cavity thing is trying its best to hold on. It loses it doesn't even take a turn because it's like it's just explosions and they've taken some damage and they all that they see, their eyes get real big because Judge Payne is just powering towards them. And Judge Payne, what are you gonna do?
I'm just football tackling him.
All right, give us a roll and add an extra d6 to it.
All right. 13.
That's your character?
Mm-hmm.
And go. We don't need damage for this. This
Okay.
is gonna be what it is that you want to happen. Give us a 3-panel comic page.
All right.
What happens here?
So Judge Payne smashes into the middle of the robot, and there's the classic oomph where the robot's hands are out, right? And there's the second panel is the robot lifting Judge Payne up and flipping him over, and slamming him into a transformer on the roof, right? Sparks flying. And then the next panel is Judge Payne holding one of the broken arms of the robot, smashing it through the middle where the mutant guy is.
Yes. Perfect. And this scene is just erupting as the helicopter lands. 2 judges with large guns, rifle-sized guns.
I had grenade launchers.
Oh!
I totally forgot because they're not on my character sheet.
That's okay. I think you could save those for later. But you tackle him down. Another game. You tackle him down. You do this awesome scene, and then we have the final panels of the comic of the 4 of you, bloodied, battered, and bruised. The gorilla hugging Judge Clayton with a banana in its hand and a clear smiling expression on its face as you lift off. And in a couple of panels, you're seeing you lift off the roof, shaking their fists from the street are the gang leaders, and they're people still firing at each other. The rubber ducky or the quackers and the headbangers, and then the final is the helicopter getting smaller and a silhouette against the halls of justice in the background, and we fade out, and that's game.
Nice.
Well done, Tim.
Very cool.
Nice.
You guys were awesome judges.
Thank you again, Tim, for being our chief judge and
awesome GM.
Thanks, guys.
That was great.
That was a lot of fun. So I'm going to tell everybody go check out the Kickstarter in the link in the description. What do you guys think? What did you guys have a lot of fun? What did you think of the system itself? We'll take a couple minutes and just chat about our thoughts if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if the players want to go first, for sure, I'll say something.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I've read the rule set before. I've never gotten a chance to actually play it, so it was I'm a big fan of D6 dice pool systems in general with RPGs. So I really liked it. I like the flexibility of how, you know, pretty much you can set it to whatever crunchiness you want on the system. And I think it does a great job of adapting to the setting. But me personally, I know, Alan, you've played the system before, and I don't know if I haven't played it with this. I'm going to assume is your first time playing it with the Judge Dredd as a setting. What did you think?
No, I liked it. I mean, I ran old as a campaign before, which is it didn't feel like the rules were any different. I mean, the weapons and there were tweaks to it, but for the most part, it was a pretty consistent rule set between the different games. At least from what we experienced here. Maybe when you get into it, it gets a little more adjusted to the Judge Dredd universe.
Sure.
But no, it worked great. I loved it. I had a great time.
Now, who of us here? I know Alan's a big Judge Dredd fan. I really like the movies, but that's pretty much my basic knowledge of this whole setting. But I'm a big post-apocalyptic and sci-fi fan anyway, so you know, anything that kind of encapsulates that setting is something that I really enjoy. So that was when I saw that this was coming out that really kind of piqued my interest, and I'm really excited to get this RPG in my collection. What do you guys where you guys come from as far as the fandom of Judge Dredd? You guys read the comics at all? You guys just pretty much just watch the movies, or what?
I knew that it came from comics, and I've only seen the Stallone movie. I guess there was a newer version that was made,
much better,
darker and more to the comics. So I haven't seen that one, but I mean, I knew of Judge Dredd. I knew what it was. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, prior to the game, I went and reviewed the movies. I knew it was a comic too, and so I went and I grabbed a few of the comics and went through it. And the post-apocalyptic thing really works for me too. And you know what I found after I was doing the research and then reading the rules and everything is I found that it was kind of evoking some of my own past, because as you know, Doug, I was former law enforcement, and I kind of started to feel a little bit like, the tactic kind of thing where I learned how to do some of that stuff. And so I brought that with me to the game, and it really enhanced my enjoyment. So, I'm looking to, maybe play again with maybe the full rule set to really get into the universe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was going to say I also didn't. I don't have a lot of experience with the comics. I had a neighbor growing up who was just in love with them and hated the Stallone movie because they were so in love with the comics. But one thing I'll say about this, just looking through this book and prepping for this game, it made me want to read the comics.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is with me.
The artwork and the illustrations, just separate from the actual rule set, makes me want to actually get into those.
They have some great compiled runs of the comics you can get out there that are just like the whole history of the character from start to finish, like compiled in these massive omnibuses. Are fantastic. I think I have most of them.
I think that's where I'm gonna have to start then. Yeah, it definitely made me hungry for more of the actual lore.
Yeah, that's kind of, I started getting, I went through a couple of the omnibuses is what I was doing. Do that, and I highly recommend that. It gives you the arc.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's great. Like I said, I went and rewatched the movies again. I don't have a lot of spare time, but I definitely have the comics in my wish list now to pick up, because once this game releases, which it really isn't all that far away, because it's the game, the books themselves are all done. Russ is just pretty much hitting the print button once the Kickstarter ends, so it's not going to be all that far along. So I really need to do a little more research before the game comes in, which is really exciting. I'm hoping that I can kind of sit down and read some more comics. Tim, let's talk about you. How did you feel GMing? I know when we threw it out there, this is kind of, I will let folks know, this was kind of a spur of the moment when Russ was on the show earlier. I kind of brought up the fact that, hey, we do actual plays. We'd love to feature your game for you if if it's possible. If it's not, that's fine. And he said, "Oh no, that'd be awesome. Here's some material." And I kind of threw it out to these guys in a chat, and Tim stepped like immediately up and said, "Hey, I'd be glad to GM this." And I was like, "Wow, thank you so much." So Tim, again, thank you so much. How was the whole process of prepping for this session?
Well, first, all the thanks have to go to my wife. Her and I were having dinner when we got your text saying we should play it. She immediately said, "You should offer to run it if he doesn't want to do that." And I was like, "Okay." but no, so that wouldn't happen if she didn't tell me to step up and email or message you that.
Thank you, Kristen, yet again.
She comes through, but no, prepping for it. I think that because it's a good size book and it has a lot of rules in it, but the way that they're written is you could kind of figure out what you're going to play. We're going to play a 2-hour game. That's a short game for a role-playing session. Sure. And so we weren't going to use the battle grid type mechanics. We weren't going to use some of the other stuff. And I think that it's laid out in such a way that it gives you so many options to play the type of game you want, but not overwhelm you. And so they did a really good job of the layout and a really good job of consolidating the rules and giving you what you wanted. So if you do have 4 to 6 hours to sit down with a battle grid at a table, you can get a really cool experience out of it with lots of different maneuvers and moves that the judges can do to get into sort of like, Overwatch and flanking and things like that. Whereas this was more of a theater of the mind, get through it. And I think they just did a fantastic job of that. And running it, I not coming from the comic knowledge, what I was trying, I wanted just to frame it in a very loose way and let you guys bring what you wanted into it. So each of you could kind of, with your character, bring as much Dredd, Alan, I mean, obviously reading out the sentencing while you were going, it was just like you enhanced it for me as giving just a blank. I gave just the blank slate, and you brought in the real Dredd to it. So, that's kind of where I was coming at. And the only other thing I'll say is that the character sheets are designed in such a way to give a player everything they need without having we didn't crack the. Did anybody look at the book and the rules?
I didn't look at the book. No, the character sheets are amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if we did it right, but no, I'm joking. we didn't have to crack open the book to go in and find stuff. And this was all of our first, except for Alan, who's played the system before. This was, I think, all of our first time playing it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just Dredd, but actually this core mechanic. So, yeah, fantastic job by the designers of this game.
Absolutely, and I will mention that if you back for the GM screen for this game, there's tables on both sides of the GM screen. So the GM will have information at the ready, but yet the players will have information at the ready too. So anything that's not on this sheet will probably be on the GM screen, like the sentencing, and everything, because I love the fact that Russ is already kind of, he wants to make this game as fluid as possible. And so that folks don't have to, constantly refer to a book while they're playing. So I think that was brilliant on his part for making the GM screen two-sided. It's like a GM screen, but it's also like a player screen too. So yeah. I was really excited to hear about that.
The book also has a lot of really good information on locations, the lore, and a lot of adventure prompt ideas, things like that. I read through a bunch of them. I decided not to use any of them just in case they wanted to sort of keep them a little secret and not run something from the book. But anybody that wants to could also run the Victory Condition games, Mean Pete's. The Mean Pete's, you can use those, and the Headbangers and the Quackers. But they're
nice. Awesome. Well, I guess it's going to do it for us. If you liked this actual play, please give it a like down below. And like I said, if you haven't checked out the Kickstarter, please check out the Kickstarter. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and tune in and watch us do more ridiculous things on other actual plays in the future. And we feature a lot of awesome folks like the folks that are on this actual play right here. So thank you, Alan. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Tim. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time.